All right, now that I've got all my tools, the first thing I'm going to do to draw my bicycle frame is I'm going to draw a horizontal line just across the bottom of the whole sheet of paper, and this will kind of be the, I guess, horizontal flat axis line for the whole bike. So I'm going to actually draw that across the whole sheet of paper, and I probably won't need all of it, but it'll be nice to have there for the whole thing. So again, lining up, making sure I have a nice, long, flat line across the whole sheet of paper. All right. Now, the very first dimension I'm going to be using on my drawing is the bottom bracket drop. So on the bike that I have, the bottom bracket drop is 52 millimeters. So I'm going to use my small ruler and draw a bottom bracket drop kind of in the middle of my sheet of paper of 52 millimeters. So here, put my mark, 52, and this is going to be where the center of my bottom bracket is. Now this is where I'm going to use my compass. So the compass is the one that draws circles. My bottom bracket is 40 millimeters in diameter, so that means I need to set my compass to 20 millimeters, and then I'll draw the center of that circle based on that mark from earlier. And I'm pretty happy with that, being as limited as I am with my hand. So we've got my bottom bracket and my bottom bracket drop and my horizontal line. Now so I'm going to put another line from the center of that. And now I'm going to use my protractor to put in my seat tube angle. So on the bike that I'm drawing up, my seat tube angle is 73.7. So I'm going to look right here really carefully, 7123.7. And I'm going to draw a nice long line from here up, and this would be my seat tube angle. So again, lining up. And I'm going to go pretty far with this one again, because I'll need that full length for my top tube length later on. So I've got my seat tube angle, my bottom bracket drop, and my bottom bracket. All right. Now the next dimension I'm going to put into here is my seat tube length. So my seat tube length is 483 millimeters. So I'm going to measure up. 48 is right here. 48.3 is right there. So this would be the top of my seat tube. I'm going to put a nice flat line there. So I've got my seat tube length, seat tube angle, bottom bracket drop. All right. Now the next item I'm going to put in here is I'm going to start working on the back end of the bike, and I'm going to put the chainstay length. Now the chainstay length on this bike is 450 millimeters, and that's going to go from the bottom bracket to that wheelbase line. And so I'm going to put 450, and 450 is right here. So I'm going to make sure that mark lines up. 450 to there. All right there is my chainstay length. Now I do have these old dropouts, and I'm actually going to trace that with my angle, and just so that way I have something to show for what my chainstay will be like, or my dropout. And you don't have to do this step, I'm just doing this. If you want to use my dropouts, you're welcome to, and trace your own on here. It's just kind of something nice to give you another reference point when drawing your bike frame. So I've got a nice little dropout. All right. So now the next thing I would do is I'm going to draw my seat stays, and those don't really have a length. I typically, in the past, have always dropped down about, let's say, about 40 millimeters, and I put a line, and then I've connected my seat stay to that point right here. And that's going to be my seat stay length. My seat stay would look like that. Alright, so the back end is done. I'm going to kind of leave that how it is. And now my next thing to work on is the front end.